Hey, what is up, Christian Technology family? So we have a video on an OnlyFans influencer exposes administration paying her to push woke propaganda on Gen Z. So guys, before we get to the video, I'm just a guy, just allowing God to use me to create content to spread the word of God. If you like what I'm doing, hit the sub for me. Let's get straight to it.
Asking. All right, guys, so we got to talk about this shocking but not so shocking revelation that came out during an interview with a TikToker slash OnlyFans model by the name of Farah Khalidi, who is talking about how the Biden administration was paying her to engage in identity politics and to push their message, aka propaganda. And I think that this interview segment here is fascinating because it reveals something that I've been telling you guys for a long time about the Biden administration, which is that there is no organic support at all for this administration. And this is why they're having to pay these influencers to support them, because quite literally nobody likes Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Take a look.
So you were in school, you were still in college when you started as a TikTok person, right? Or you started OnlyFans when you were in school too?
No, I started TikTok like the spring semester of my senior year, and I was like, fuck, I finally have to start applying for law school. And then like, female privilege, life is so easy for a, woman. Obviously I lucked out. I'm just kidding. I lucked out. And then, TikTok was basically full time for me. I think I was taking ads by the time I graduated college from like the Biden administration and Planned Parenthood and like dating apps and stuff. So it was like fully financially sustaining.
So you were getting, the Biden administration was buying ads from you?
Yeah, I was doing full on political propaganda.
And they would just, really, with like what kind of like Biden created 10 million jobs this year?
Honestly. And the funny thing is they're like, do not disclose this is an ad because, they're like, technically it's not a product. So you don't have to disclose it's an ad. Because I think they just wanted like some edgy girl of color to just tell people, like when they nominated like Ketanji Brown Jackson, they're like, can you say like as a
girl of color, this lady is Indian or Pakistani or whatever it is. She looks Indian though, but I was about to say something racist. Nah, I'm good.
Person of color, that you feel reflected, and it's like a white woman emailing this to me, and she's like giving me this script, and I'm like, no, and she's like, please, and I'm like, no, I'll like talk about the news of it, but I'm not gonna have a white person tell me to be like, this is how I feel as a person of color. Like it's just so, I think that blackpilled me slightly on like political propaganda. So
the Biden administration sees, here's this young.
Yeah, I mean they use like a conduit. It's not like, you know what I mean. It's not Biden, but it's like a third party. You know what I mean? It's like a media company that's doing it on his behalf. I'm not blaming him for this.
Yeah, and the message is like, because you're a dark-skinned woman, you will be inspired by Ketanji Brown Jackson, and all the kids should support her.
Yeah, they're like, basically as like another black person, just say that like you feel reflected by Ketanji. I'm like, no, I'll talk about like Ketanji's background and her accomplishments, but like I never, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna say like the corny stuff. Even if it was a brown person emailing it to me, I'm like, no, that's not like how I feel. Like I don't look at like Ketanji and feel like, wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty hilarious, right? I mean, I'm not surprised at all because, again, I think that it's impossible to legitimately like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, okay? I don't think that anybody that voted for Joe Biden and Kamala voted for them because they actually like them. They voted for them because they hate Trump. And that is backfiring on the Biden administration come 2024 because their base is abandoning them, okay? Their base doesn't want to vote for them for various reasons. And they're so desperate that they're having to pay OnlyFans models, who are also TikTokers as well too, to push their propaganda, to say things like, oh, as a brown woman, I'm so proud of Ketanji Brown Jackson, right? I support Biden putting affirmative action hires into his administration or on the Supreme Court because I'm a so-called person of color, right? And that means a lot to me to see people that a representative of me in the Biden administration and on the Supreme Court. I get just straight Democrat Party talking points, okay? Nothing about this administration is real or organic at all. This is why they have to pay influencers. They have to literally hand people money to say, hey, I support the Biden administration, right? Again, anybody on TikTok that you see that is overtly.
And I think DJ Academics, he said that the Biden administration wanted to pay him to run some ads on his platform. But then he goes to Rumble, which is quote unquote right-wing platform. They said, nah, he's switching sides. but that side wanted to pay him to run ads for the Democratic Party, which it's not a problem because yeah, he takes money to run ads. He runs music videos and stuff on his platform. So I understand that, but don't act like the man is now switching over because he went to Rumble. That's what I'm trying to say.
Pro Biden, okay, and that is defending this administration is probably a paid shill, right? Like, there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, we already know about the Biden administration soy boys that have been exposed as paid shills.
We all know this kid, right? And how about this one? Well, as many of us have suspected for a long time, looks like those two are partisan hacks bought and paid for by the DNC to the tune of around $210,000. If you check their bios, both of them are managed by a company called Palette Media. And you might think, well, why is that important? Because Palette Media received direct payments by the DNC totaling $210,000. Apparently, the DNC didn't want to make direct payments. By the way, all of this is publicly available on the FEC website, so they don't want to make direct payments exposing Harry and his goons. So instead, they get a little creative with their accounting. First, they send the money to Palette, which then manages their talents like Harry. Now, none of this should surprise anyone because it's public knowledge that Biden started an army of social media influencers. But I guess they didn't want you to know who.
Yeah, so again, this explains why you have so many of these hardcore Biden supporters on TikTok, but yet you never see these people anywhere in real life because they don't exist in real life, okay? I'm telling you guys, I never see a Biden-Harris.
But the thing is, if they're paying TikTokers to run their ads, why are they trying to ban TikTok right now then? I guess maybe the TikTokers are not needed because the sham has been exposed. I'm guessing so. It might be. It has to be.
Sign anywhere. I don't see any Biden-Harris paraphernalia. I never see it anywhere. Right? Because, again, there is no organic support for these people, right? I'm just saying.
You guys go check the rest of the video out. Y'all go shout out to or subscribe to Black Conservative Perspective. Subscribe to him, watch him, whatever you want to do, guys. That's it for me. I think there's about like 6 or 7 more minutes left of the video, but that is it for me. All right. Thank you guys for watching. You guys know that I'm just a guy, just allowing God to use me to spread the word of God in my own unique abilities. All right. See you guys on the next one. Peace.